Welcome inside the Fantasy Sports Network studios. I'm Hannah Nordman for Hot Roster Now. The NBA paused for some All-Star festivities this weekend down in New Orleans, but just because there wasn't any meaningful basketball being played doesn't mean your fantasy teams weren't affected. I'll let you know what this weekend's Boogie trade means for your fantasy team, along with my NHL waiver picks for the week. Let's dig in. You might find some solid late-season help in an unlikely place. The Carolina Hurricanes have more games remaining than any other team, having only played 55 to this point. And maybe not so shocking, only two Canes players are sitting above 70% ownership, those being Justin Falk and Jeff Skinner. Sebastian Aho is owned in just over 30% of leagues. The rookie has 32 points, 139 shots, and averages over 16 minutes of ice time. And he picked up his first career hat trick a few weeks ago, so the kid can score. Playing on the wing with Jordan Staal, both these guys could be options in deeper leagues if you're looking for an ice time boost. That being said, it's still the Hurricanes, so there is a gamble here. Tanner Pearson is owned in just 15% of leagues, but he's holding down a top 6 spot in the Kings lineup, playing alongside Jeff Carter. He has 4 goals, 3 assists, and 14 shots on goal over his past 4 games, and the Kings' schedule down the stretch is very favorable, up against the Flames 4 times, the Coyotes twice, and one more date with the Avalanche tonight. And Oscar Klefbom is starting to look like the player Edmonton envisioned when they drafted him with a first-round pick 6 years ago. He's 7th in the NHL among defensemen with 149 shots on goal in 59 games, and he's already passed his previous career high for points. Not to mention, the Oilers are playing at home a ton down the stretch, where Klefbom has 5 goals, 8 assists, and 59 shots on goal. At around 25% ownership, he's a good option if you need help on defense. It's also worth noting that we're getting to the time of year where games played can and should come into play with your lineups. The Jets go on their 5-day break starting Wednesday and have played more games than any other team, with just 20 remaining. Outside of Patrick Laine and Mark Scheifele, you might want to start looking at dropping or trading your Jets for other options. The other team to avoid down the stretch is the New York Islanders. They've got 24 games remaining, but 17 of them are on the road, and with a road record of 7, 13, and 4, that's not a team I trust heading into fantasy playoffs. Over to basketball. The All-Star game was overshadowed this weekend by the news that DeMarcus Cousins would be moved to New Orleans in exchange for a protected 2017 first-round pick, a second-round pick, Buddy Hield, Langston Galloway, and Tyreek Evans' expiring contract. So that means 2 of this year's top 10 fantasy players are now sharing the same court in Cousins and Anthony Davis, while Sacramento is going to have to do some serious rejigging with their lineup. On the Pelicans side of things, it wouldn't be shocking to see both Cousins and Davis' production fall a bit as they make room for one another. But this means there'll probably be a little less to go around for the rest of the team. The exception in this situation would be Drew Holiday. He'll likely serve as the primary playmaker and third offensive weapon, but if you've got anyone else in the Pelicans' front court, it's probably a safe time to drop them and look for other options. As for Sacramento, they've got a big hole to fill in Boogie's absence. Buddy Hield is most likely to see the most opportunity and time from this trade. Owned in over 40% of leagues, if you want him, you're gonna have to grab him quick. He's struggled a bit through his rookie season so far, averaging just 8.6 points, 2.9 rebounds, and 1.4 assists per game, but the Kings traded away their franchise centerpiece to get him, so you can be sure that he'll get his shot. With Cousins out of the mix, the other guy who will likely see the biggest benefit is Willie Cauley-Stein. His ownership has gone up nearly 300% since the trade broke and sits close to 60% in most leagues, so you're going to have to act fast if he's still around. His numbers have been decent this year, shooting 56% from the field and averaging 16 points per 36 minutes. In a recent game with Cousins out on suspension, Cauley-Stein had 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in 25 minutes, so the upside is definitely there. That's it for today, folks. Make sure you join us tomorrow when Cam Stewart breaks down some of his favorite golfers for this weekend's Honda Classic. For those of you who don't know what HotRoster is, check it out. Go to HotRoster.com, download the app, give it a try. It's like no other fantasy game you've ever played. And then for help winning the game, check out HotRoster today with Cam Stewart and Gary Thorne every weekday at 4:30 Eastern, only on the Fantasy Sports Network. For HotRoster Now, I'm Hannah Nordman.